The Royal Hotel is a thriller film directed by Kitty Green, based off of the documentary Hotel Coolgardie. This one is about two women who are on vacation in Australia and they've run out of money. They're Canadian and they're running away from something. It's not really explicitly said, but the two of them basically join a last-minute work program where they go to a remote mining town for a 3-month stint as barmaids at a small, crappy pub. Mainly, patrons are going to be mining employees and sort of blue-collar workers. So the two of them show up and it's a bit of a shithole. They'll be room and board and they'll get money, so it's not the worst deal in the world, but the two of them become subject to harassment and sort of unease and uncomfortable situations until the, stark finale. So when I watched this film, I was a little bit hesitant because I really didn't like Kitty Green's previous film. Kitty Green is an Australian director who did a couple of documentary films. Her first narrative feature was The Assistant, which is a Me Too sort of Harvey Weinstein-inspired office drama thriller that I really didn't like because the whole movie was just 75% her doing mundane tasks. I think the real reason why The Assistant doesn't work is because the character in that movie doesn't have anyone to work off of. No roommate, no, fellow employee to confide in. It's just, a cold, calculating sort of series of events. But however, the Royal Hotel is a triumph, in my opinion. From the set design, to the setting, to the themes, to the character development, to the acting. Hugo Weaving is great as Billy, the owner of the club. He's like this really sarcastic drunk. His wife Carol is the only ally that the two women have. And meanwhile, the acting from the main leads carry the film, of course. You've got Liv. She's like the sort of free-spirited sort of one that becomes a liability later on. But she's played wonderfully by Jessica Henwick, who usually plays tough, badass chicks. Like, she's in The Force Awakens, Love and Monsters, Iron Fist. She's playing against type by playing a vulnerable sort of hot mess of a character. And Julia Garner, of course, is really great in the subdued sort of cool-headed role as the friend who has to sort of say no to drinks and keep her faculties and sort of protect them both. The movie does a really great fine balancing act with the other characters. There's a lot of male characters in this movie and they all are friendly, but they all want something and they all have their different ways of wearing down the ladies. They've got the one guy that keeps making dumb blonde jokes. You've got the one guy who's just a creep who sits in the corner. You've got the dumb one who's kind of like friendly. You've got the nicer one who might have a shot. But when they drink too much, it's sort of insidious because they're not fighting against evil monsters that are irredeemable. It's the culture. It's the small town vibes. It's the, boys will be boys mentality. How do you fight that? How do you protect yourself against that? Because all it takes is a couple drinks and they're, acting out of line. And what can you do when you only have a small wooden door to, protect you? They know where you live. They know where you're staying because they have to live at the pub. So this movie fires on all cylinders with great, set design as well. You can almost smell the spilled beer on the floor. The great use of like, setting and like the arid desert and things like that. And the movie isn't just completely like 90 minutes of grim. There's also some nice, visiting a watering hole. There's some nice moments of chivalry too to balance out. It's not just 90 minutes of constant sexual harassment barrage. So the Royal Hotel is a really fine, balancedly, like it's finely crafted. Kitty Green is also Australian, so there's like a nice authentic flair to that. So the Royal Hotel is firing on all cylinders and I gave it a perfect 10.